Hey guys, well, I'm back again to talk to you guys about another hot topic or something fresh and new that you definitely need to know about, and it can definitely help change the lives of many people. And that is the Section 8 program, also known as the Housing Choice Voucher Program. Now, that program has been around since 1937, and it was put in place to help people who have low to moderate income, people who are disabled, and even elderly. Of course, that genre and those classifications have definitely broadened. The Section 8 program helps many families regardless of if they're disabled or not. But the caveat is that you must be and have low to moderate income. But in 1974, Congress made it definitely more mainstream. They actually created their first Section 8 development for low to medium housing, because it's so important to have affordable housing when you have low to moderate income. And then in 2019, Congress actually passed a law making it illegal to deny someone from receiving a place to stay because they were receiving Section 8 income or a Section 8 voucher. So I'm going to cover a lot today. Like I said, I'm excited to talk to you guys about it because I definitely want to clear up and remove some of those myths about Section 8. Section 8 is a program that many families use. It's estimated over 5 million families to date are currently using that program. So you can imagine that it's helping a lot of families maintain their housing. And when I made my last video, I talked about maintaining your housing, and it's so important. And with that Section 8 voucher, what happens is that family that is receiving that voucher usually will pay about 30 to 40% of the housing cost on their own. And that means that Section 8 voucher will supplement that housing amount by paying the other portion of the rent. And in this case, I'm going to talk to you about buying a home while on Section 8. That housing voucher would actually pay a mortgage even. Like, is that awesome? Like, that's good news. I know you want me to jump into it and tell you more about it. So, but before I jump into that, let me tell you a little bit about me. I am the District Vice President of Gold Financial Services, and I've been in the business over 27 years. And I have my DE, which stands for Direct Endorsement from HUD. So I'm very familiar with a lot of the programs that are out there to help homebuyers achieve their goal of just owning a home. And you can own a home with low to moderate income, and you can even have that mortgage supplemented by Section 8. So first and foremost, if you're not on Section 8 and you would like to get on Section 8, you definitely have to reach out to the county in which you live in and see if they have any openings. Most places do have a wait list, but if that is something that you need to be able to sustain your housing, definitely get on that wait list so that way you can take advantage of some of these programs. Now, if you are on Section 8 and this is like awesome news for you to hear and you didn't know anything about it, what you need to do is to contact your counselor and ask them about getting into the class that is for financial literacy. Section 8 doesn't just say that since they supplement your rent that you can automatically buy a house. There are certain things that you need to do on your end for you to be approved to be able to buy a home utilizing your Section 8 voucher. And again, training and education is required because we want to make sure that you can sustain a household. And owning a home is a different set of responsibilities because when you own a home, you cannot call the landlord and tell them to fix whatever's broken. When you own that home, it's all your responsibility. But guess what? That's good responsibility because you are investing in yourself, investing in your future, and again, creating that generational wealth. Now, from the mortgage standpoint, once you have completed your financial literacy and you've received your voucher that states that you are eligible to purchase a home, in the pre-qualification process, we're going to use that voucher amount to offset that mortgage. And we make sure as the mortgage company that we comply with the restrictions of your voucher, meaning that if your voucher does restrict you to certain zip codes, we're going to make sure that we comply with that. If your voucher states that you must have a certain amount of space in that home, or a certain amount of bedrooms in that home, then that's going to be handled by the real estate agent. So it definitely does take a team to make it happen, but I've successfully, with agents, actually helped many families secure home ownership utilizing that voucher program. So let's get into it. The voucher program will definitely require that you have at least a 620 credit score, and it's going to make it easier for you to obtain financing. Even though I mentioned in a previous video, you can purchase a home with a credit score as low as 500, but the voucher program definitely wants to get you set up for the win. So they will require that you do have at least a 620 credit score. Also, the voucher program is going to require that you have some savings. Typically, they want you to have at least $2,500 saved of your own funds in the account. And that is because there are certain costs that are paid up front when you're utilizing the housing program. One is going to be the inspection. Believe it or not, when you own your home, you still need to get that home inspected, and that home still needs to meet the housing requirements, just as though it would when you're renting. That home is inspected to make sure that it meets all of HUD's requirements. So that TREC inspection is done when you're actually under contract to purchase a home, and you, as the buyer of that home, has to pay for that TREC inspection to make sure that the condition of the home actually meets the Section 8 requirements. So in that inspection, they're going to check the roof, they're going to check the water, the AC, the heating. Everything is going to be checked to make sure that that home is functional, because they want to make sure that the home does not have any functional obsolescence. And that means that you could live in the home, but it could be, it could be something that would cause you not to be able to live in the home one day. And as well, the condition of that home needs to meet the standards of that mortgage. And that means that the home needs to be in good condition, in a good enough condition to be around for the next 30 years or more, because that mortgage typically is for 30 years. Also, the next expense that you would have is the appraisal. And the appraisal is done to make sure that the home is worth what you agreed to purchase it for, and at that appraisal is required, and that appraisal is an expense that you as the buyer does have because you are purchasing the home. So, and then also you need to have earnest money. And earnest money is the good faith to show the seller that you are going to purchase their home. So those are expenses that you have to have ready to go when you are ready to purchase a home. Now, the mortgage part, of course, I handle that, and I'm gonna give you my information. Charlamagne Armstrong, my phone number 214-738-4913. Also, my email address is carmstrong@goldfinancial.com, and you can always reach out to me after you watch this video, of course, because you want to watch the whole thing because there's a lot of good information in it to get more information about purchasing a home and utilizing that Section 8 voucher, okay? So on to more good information, because this is awesome. If you're on the Section 8 housing voucher program, obviously you're getting a housing subsidy, which is great, but you also will qualify for down payment assistance, because it's one thing to save $2,500, but it's another thing to try to save a down payment escrow account and closing costs when you have low to moderate income. So the down payment assistance program will definitely help cover that down payment. In some instances, it can help cover your escrow and closing, as well as the seller can also contribute to your escrow account and closing costs. Now, this market is still pretty hot, so sellers are really not contributing, but it definitely is an option to help reduce your costs to get into a home. As well as you can take advantage of what's called a mortgage credit certificate. And that is another awesome program that allows you to receive up to $60,000 over the life of the loan. by just having a mortgage, okay? Now, the caveat to that mortgage credit certificate, it can be used with any program, but you have to actually be filing a tax return to receive that mortgage credit certificate, because you can receive up to $2,000 a year over the life of the loan. And the only way to receive that is by you filing taxes. So if you are a family that does not file taxes, then you would not be able to receive that benefit. But if you do, that's an extra added benefit for sure. So I'm going to recap a little bit here. We've talked about the Section 8 voucher and how that subsidizes your rent and or your mortgage. But of course, everything we're talking about today is you being able to purchase your own home utilizing that Section 8 voucher program. And that means that you must complete the financial literacy that is required by the county of which you are receiving that voucher. Also, that automatically will make you eligible for down payment assistance. And that down payment assistance will go in conjunction with that voucher and will pay your down payment. It also can pay your escrow account and some of your closing costs, as well as you can also receive a mortgage credit certificate that allows you to receive an additional credit of up to $60,000 over the life of the loan. Like, that sounds pretty awesome. And it is definitely a program that is there to help you with those steps of purchasing that home and making sure you can accomplish those steps. I mean, how awesome, how awesome. And I love helping families that actually comply. When I say comply, meaning complete the financial literacy that's required, and they save their money. They make sure that they maintain their credit so they can be a homeowner. And most vouchers are in place for 15 years, and during that time, they're going to subsidize that mortgage. Now, can that voucher be transferred to somebody else? Typically, vouchers cannot be transferred to anyone else unless the person who receives that voucher passes away. Obviously, they have a household to maintain, so maybe whoever is taking over that household could go ahead and receive that voucher to complete that term. Obviously, if someone divorces, the family breaks up, there's some instances in which that voucher could be maintained. Obviously, if you're convicted of a crime, then you would not be eligible for that voucher, and you have to deal with the county on that. So I'm not going to delve too much into it, but I did want to point out there are some instances where a voucher could and would be transferable. And like I said, death would be one of those reasons. And if a family breaks up and that other person staying in the home can maintain that voucher, then that would be an instance in which it would. And the mortgage company is definitely there to talk with you and help guide you with any issues during the process. I hope that I've given you some good information. Of course, please reach out to me, Charlamagne Armstrong. Follow me, like and subscribe to my page, because I'm going to be putting more videos out here about information that you definitely can use and you can share with others and give them information. So with that being said, I pray and hope I get to talk to you soon. Have a blessed day. Bye.